Hello coders, I hope you are coding well. In the previous video, we completed our mark attendance API in our Spring Boot application, and in today's video, we will test this API in the Postman, and after this, we will create a service method to call this API from our Angular application. So let's get started. So in our Spring Boot application, in the attendance controller, we made a mistake, and in the mark attendance method we use path variable instead of request body. So we will fix this bug first, and we will remove this at the rate path variable annotation, and we will add the annotation of request body, and after this we will run our Spring Boot application. And as you can see, our application is up on port 8080 without any errors. And now let's go to the Postman to test this mark attendance API. And in the Postman, for the request type we will choose post, and then we need to give the basic URL, which we will give it as http localhost colon 8080. And after this we need to give the controller URL, which is /API/attendance, and at the end we need to give the method URL, which is /add. And after this we need to give the request body, so we will click on this body tab and then we will choose raw, and in this we need to create the request JSON body. And first of all we need to pass the employee ID, and we will give this as 4. And after the employee ID we need to give the project ID, and we will give this as 2. And after the project ID we need to give the manager ID, and we will give this as 3. And after the manager ID we need to give the attendance status, and we will give this as present. And after the attendance status we need to give the date, and we will give this as today's date. And with this our request body is completed, and now let's click on this send button to call the API. And as you can see we got 200 OK response, and in the response body we got the created attendance, and in this response we can match the details which we gave. And now let's go to our Angular application to create a method to call this API. And in our Angular application we need to open manager module, and after this we will open manager.service.ts. And in this file we need to create a new method, and we will name this method as mark attendance. And in this method we will accept attendance TTO, and the type of this will be any. And after this, in the body of this method we will write a return statement, and then we will use our HTTP client, and we will call a method post. And in this method we need to pass the URL and request body. And to pass the URL, first of all we will use our URL variable, and after this we will use plus sign to concatenate the controller and method URL, and we will give this as /API/attendance/add. And after this we need to give the request body, and in the request body we will pass our attendance DTO. And with this our mark attendance method is completed in the manager service. And now let's save this file, and after this we will run our Angular application. And as you can see our Angular application is up without any errors. And that's it for today's video. In the next video we will build this attendance TTO request body, and after this we will call this method to handle all the attendance statuses like present, absent and leave.